My name is Mr. Darling, and this is Machine God Eats. If you hear people's badass kids outside, it's because apparently they just let their kids out to play in front of people's apartments. The people next door to me don't have kids, and this right here is an office, but there's a group of kids that just come out here and hang out. And I will be complaining when I pay my rent this week because I work in the evening and I don't need all that chatter and cussing outside my door. I hope you guys' this evening is going well. My day has been a little bit irritating because of work. Work was just grating on my nerves for a multitude of reasons that I'm not gonna get into here. It just was. And I ended up coming home and trying to get on the bus, and the bus itself didn't come, just decided not to come. If you ever lived out here in Vegas, you know the public transit out here is ass. What up, Khalil? How you doing, man? Peace and love, man. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good today. Just a little irritated from the day. The day was kicking my ass, bro. You know, just a regular work day. And when I got to come home and I was getting on the bus, it just didn't come. So luckily, I do have a new scooter, and that shit just flew home. So it took me about the same amount of time to get here. And once I got here, started to unwind and chill. Hey, Khalil, do you like are you a Marvel fan by any chance? Because I'm going to that a little bit in the beginning of this video. I got to rant about Marvel a little bit in the MCU because I don't. They got this Doomsday movie coming out, okay, and I want to be hyped for it, right? Like I was hyped for the other Avengers movies years ago, right, and for the MCU in general. There's just all of the Marvel movies, but I don't like this rollout. It's something about this movie right now, and I don't know. I got a bad feeling about it. I work in a restaurant, and they had me all the way fucked up today. It was everywhere, dog. It was everywhere. It was all over the place today. I think today, I know in my restaurant we had so many goddamn catering orders. It was depressing, honestly. I mean, it's good for the bit. It's good for business, but it hurt us, bro. Like by the time I got out, I had a headache. I'm glad you made it home safe, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah, and I absolutely love Marvel. Are you a Marvel fan or DC? Both equally, like literally equally. I can honestly say equally. Comic wise, I think I would lean more towards DC. I think, yeah, we're about to lose everything. I'm gonna get into that money mail. I'm gonna talk about AI in this live. We're gonna get into that. I want to start it out a little light today. I like both Marvel and DC equally. For when I grew up on Marvel. Like a lot of kids, like Marvel was my shit more than anything. And what got me to learn like the universe of Marvel and everything. If y'all just now coming in, y'all gonna hear kids outside because apparently this is my outside my apartment is the goddamn babysitter because ain't no motherfucking nobody has kids around here. Ain't nobody next door have kids. What the fuck are y'all kids outside? Go play in front of your goddamn parents' house. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's been a day. It's been a day. I feel you on the Marvel flicks, but I think they're going to cook up something. We're not. I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping so. I grew up on Marvel. What made me learn I'm sorry with the clicking. What made me learn Marvel was me and my brother and my friends. We used to collect the Marvel cards, like the collector cards that you would go to the comic book store and get, and you learned all the characters and the backstories and all that. And that's what really got me into Marvel. Then I started reading the comics, obviously, when I was like in middle school and stuff. And I obviously fell in love with Marvel. And when I was growing up, DC was scary to me. Obviously, I like Batman and Superman. I like the movies. You like the mainstream stuff. But the comics were so gritty. You know what I mean? Like compared to like the more lighthearted stuff. So like as a kid, I gravitated more towards Marvel. So my love, like my original love for comic book characters is for the Marvel universe. But as I got older, when I became a teenager and I was got into high school and stuff, it was the DC comics that really kept me going. It was like my lifeblood because of just how when you were a teenager, especially kind of like angsty, the dark DC shit, just like a lot of the kids like the absolute universe right now. I was kind of just like into the DC shit when I was in high school. Um, but with the Doomsday movie, the reason I'm skeptical, y'all, is because the build up to even the original Avengers was something special. You know what I'm saying? It was a build up, like with the characters, like they gave you something in all of their movies that made you like, all right, when they come together, you could not just as a comic book fan, because obviously I knew how these characters went together, but just because of their individual movies and how they put everything together and going 20 something movies in and ending with Endgame, it was, in my opinion, just as a comic book fan and a nerd, it was a masterpiece. Just the whole goddamn thing. And yes, I was one of those nerds in the goddamn theater crying, all that shit. That's how much it meant to me, even as a grown man, when by the time Endgame came. And the reason was because as a teenager, I could have never imagined that they would have actually been able to put all these characters in across multiple movies, just like they did with the comic books, and then for it to coalesce into an event, just like they do in the comic books, and it be something special. And it was dope, right? So you have Endgame, you have Thanos die, you have everybody, even just culturally, talk about the snap and whether or not you will get rid of half the universe and everything was something big, right? Everybody can relate to that. But since then, I haven't had the same connection to the characters going into this movie, right? I haven't had the same, like, all right, I'll give you an example, right? Going into Avengers 2, there was already a lot of tension between Tony and Captain, and there was already a lot of back and forth. There was some relationships going into it, right? What are the relationships right now, right? Like, what are we going? What are the stakes? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't like Spider-Man. I'm not saying I don't like some of the characters and stuff, but where are the relationships? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to be hyped for? Y'all haven't even got me hyped for Doctor Doom yet. I love Doctor Doom, but within this context of this universe, there hasn't been breadcrumbs like it was with Thanos, right? Way before we even got to Infinity War, there were breadcrumbs of Thanos, that Thanos was behind the whole goddamn thing, right? So it was like, all right, you kind of had like a build up to like this, like once Infinity War happened and he was on the ship and he was fucking shit up, it was like, yeah, like it was a build up to that. There hasn't been much of a build up to Doctor Doom, right? And even if they, I don't know, like, some kind of way, like, oh, this whole multiverse thing, we're gonna bring it all together, and for some kind of way, Doom is like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm hoping it does. I really am. But the reveals that they're having, Steve Rogers is returning to Doctor Doom. I'm glad Thor is returning to the event. I'm glad that they're returning. But can we get a fucking trailer? Can we get an actual trailer of some shit that's happening? Like, all right, we get it. Like, I did like the trailer of Thor praying to Odin and all that. I like that. I like it. I like where y'all going. But this breadcrumb shit, I don't need that. Give me something, like, give some to me to where I could be like, all right, I can see why y'all got Robert Downey Jr., who was fucking Iron Man forever, playing as Dr. Victor Doom. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Endgame was fire. It was. I say, hey, I love the energy. It's a shame the Bible has been altered, so it's not 100% the word of God. But still, the word of God, like, you could take elements of anything that's going to make your life positive, that's going to build on your life. If that's the Bible, if it's whatever, even if it is altered, the word of God exists between you and your relationship with God, right? If you find yourself to be a righteous person, like, and not on some bias shit, like, oh, I'm righteous because I'm this race, or I'm righteous because I'm male, or I'm righteous because I'm a woman. None of that bullshit. I'm saying righteous just in spirit, in that you know that you would never go out here and try to trespass against anybody. You know that you're not going to try to come out here and victimize somebody or make somebody's spiritual journey in this world more difficult than it needs to be, right? Like, not directly. You do everything in your power to be a godly person. If you can have that relationship with the universe, you will have a relationship with God, and the word of God will be in you. You will understand, like, that God works through all of us. Like, even the people that ain't so godly, like, God works through everybody, right? And you just have to hear that, like, because if you understand that, you already hearing the voice of God. You already got some type of moral compass or whatever. No book can stray you from that, because, like you said, if you can tell it's been altered, because you know the difference between right and wrong. That's because you know the voice of God. You probably really do know the voice of God, right? Like, a lot of us go against the voice of God, including myself, because of the things that are tempting here, right? Like, I do it all the time, like, knowing, I'm not supposed to do this, or this is sinful, or this is, I know it. I know that it's going to keep me back. I know it's not going to get me to where I need to go, because when I pray, when I really do pray and I really do talk to God, the answers come to me. But a lot of times those answers are very difficult, like, to cope with. Like, it's like, okay, if you want this, you got to do this, or you have to abandon this, or you have to abandon this. And the problem with being people, humans, is that it's hard to let go of the things that we love. Hey, D Skizzle, how you doing? You know what I mean? Hey, let me see. I'm sorry, it was kind of a. My dad introduced me to comics. I would have loved for him to be alive to see that stuff. He would have loved it, man. So, hey, what's up, James Wong? Thank you. Hey, who else we got up in here? Love thy neighbor. What's welcome in? Welcome in. Hey y'all, hey y'all. Do you believe in that God forgives us? I believe that God lives through us. I believe that at some point, like when people say, "Oh, God forgives you," I think it's because people have forgiven themselves, right? Because God is in you. You have to forgive yourself before you go to hell. When you see those people on their deathbed that they haven't repented, they haven't actually talked to God about the shit. Like honestly, here's the thing. This is the thing. And I'm not trying to turn this into a sermon. We're gonna go back on the comments, but I just want to say this. You can't hide shit for if you believe in God or the universe, you can't hide yourself from that. There's no amount of you know how people say, "Oh, I'm in the house of God. I'm gonna be this way today, and then I'm gonna go over here." And I'm gonna no, you can't. God knows you, whether you know God or not. God knows you, right? Like God knows you. You can't sit there and be like, I'm going to think this and I'm going to hide this from God. God knows your ass, right? If you haven't reconciled with who you are, because God knows who you are. God already knows. If you haven't reconciled, how the fuck can if you haven't forgiven yourself and done the work to because if you feel like you need forgiveness, you already felt like you've done something wrong. To change something in you and all that. If you haven't done the work in that and you laying up there and you feel like you haven't forgiven yourself, how the fuck is God gonna forgive you? I'm sorry, I'm not a preacher, so I'm not sitting up here trying to turn this into a sermon. But that's what it because I'm not. That's just how I believe. You got to forgive yourself. Those people that you see laying on their deathbed and they all fucked up, and that's because they haven't dealt with their own sins and all that evil that they had in this fucking life. I saw my father-in-law when he was about to die and he was at peace. You know why he was at peace? You know why that man was at peace laying up there? Because he was surrounded by all of his family, his grandkids, his daughters, like me. Like he was surrounded by love. And in his eyes, there was peace. And you know why there was peace for Sandy? Because the nigga was a good motherfucker in his life. He was a good man. He was a good man the entire time I knew him. He was a good man from every story and everybody that I ever known to talk about him. So when he laid down there, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a lot in his head where he was like, "Oh man, I fucked this person, or I fucked this person." It wasn't none of that. He was surrounded by love. I hope when I go that I'm surrounded by that and I can have that type of peace and comfort in my heart because obviously God was in the room that day. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Hey, what up, Elliot? How you doing? What are your thoughts on the Somali situation? We're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk, but let me wrap up this comic shit though. Okay? I want to talk about that with the MCU. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that this is like a new start to get me hyped, to get me back on the train, yada yada. And same thing with the like DC universe. Like I like where he kind of went with the Superman movie because I really did. But people take that if I like the Superman, the new Superman movie, that mean I didn't like the old Superman movie. I think that Man of Steel was probably the best Superman movie ever made. I do. I think that's the best Superman movie ever made. There's some problems with it, like his dad just dying. I just can't get over him not saving his dad in a tornado. That was kind of dumb to me. But other than that, I think the movie, the Man of Steel was a brilliant Superman movie. I just think that it lacked. I think you could have. Here's the thing: how I think Zack Snyder could have made the perfect Superman movie. You keep the same tone. The tone of the movie is what it is, but Superman himself should have been the light within that tone, right? Like when the nigga's on screen, he should have been the color of his suit should have been brighter. I'm not saying he should have been as cartoony as the new one, but I'm just saying he should have been what is Hope. But in the movie, he was kind of scary. So I can understand for people that don't. I can understand for people that love the character why they didn't like the Snyder movies, like love them to death, and I can understand for people that are not like necessarily familiar with Superman, as to why they feel Man of Steel is like the best Superman movie ever. I love Man of Steel. I think that the newer Superman movie captures the spirit more so of like World of Tomorrow and those comic books than Man of Steel. Man of Steel is a fucking spectacle, and it's a good one. I don't think I've always said that. I was like, it's a good spectacle. It works. Da, da, da. But the newer Superman, where like when his presence on screen is kind of like almost like I said, like it's like jovial. that's Superman, right? That's more of the character Superman. If they would have had more of that character Superman, and Man of Steel would have been a perfect for everybody. But I don't know. Let me see, redeem. It's cool. I'm already redeemed, righteous, and on the cross. See, I mean, however you do it. Like, Luce Farm from Dark Games. Greeting. Hey, what's up, Justin Lee Bieber? I have the girl I'm talking to is from Maui. Her family's out there right now. She's about to get ready and go out there next week. Yeah, she's from Maui. She's coming over tonight too. But yeah, that's how I feel about the comments. But let's get into this AI shit though, y'all. AI is about to really fuck us over, and not just in a way of like art, like we're just like, oh, they can make stupid videos, bro. I didn't know the amount of resources that it was going to require for them to have their AI revolution. I just didn't. I was ignorant to the fact that in order to like have AI, that's why I haven't even been using the AI thumbnails, right? Because I like AI, I like making AI thumbnails. I think AI thumbnails. I think it's very fun. I do. There is, you come up with an idea, you type it in, and it comes up with but the amount of fucking resources it takes, okay, to run AI. I'm gonna give y'all a little factoid. In order to get the data centers and stuff up running and stuff this year, they've used more water than all of the bottled water companies combined to get this shit just this year. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why y'all need that much water. But all right, you don't give a fuck about the water. I don't either. Whatever. Fuck the environment, right? No, I'm not. I do care about the environment, but here's the big one. Here's where I'm starting to hurt. I'm starting to feel it. Okay, personally, I was like, all right, I can compete with AI with art, right? Because I'm an artist. I'm always going to be a source. It's always going to flow through me. Whatever. If you want to make some AI art, go ahead, go for it. But I'm going to always make my art. Whatever. I can compete. I can do that. Maybe not financially because it's going to make, but emotionally, getting my shit off, I can get my shit off. AI ain't going to stop me from getting my shit off. But it is going to stop me from getting my shit off because I need RAM in order to get my shit off. Y'all get what I'm saying? I do the whole 3D shit and all that bull crap, right? That requires a pretty strong computer. And you know what has to go into a computer for it to run? Memory, right? Like your RAM. RAM within the last 4 months has gone up 400 fucking %, bro. RAM that would have fucking cost you $50 fucking dollars. Let's say 32 gigabytes of RAM, cheap RAM, maybe $65, whatever, a few months ago. Right now, okay, is gonna run you damn near $400 fucking dollars. Why? Why is that? Because these AI companies, I'm getting like such a bad cramp in my leg, so these AI companies need the RAM in order to, like I say, have their AI revolution. Okay, it is very spooky, Khalil. It's fucked up, and it's not worth it. I can't see the utility in AI right now to be using that much resources, okay? So one of the main companies that make RAM has always been one of the more cheaper components when you're building computers, okay? Like when you're making, and before you log off or click off of this video, you have RAM in your phone too. And I'm gonna get into like how Samsung, like next year, is talking about reverting back to smaller RAM phones and even including SD memory slots so you can use your own storage because storage is even about to become more expensive. There's a rumor right now that Samsung is about to get out of the storage market completely because Samsung makes it very cheap for a lot of us to get storage. Even under their subsidiaries and their little third parties that y'all think are not associated with these big companies, they are, right? They make all this RAM and memory, they put it out, and it makes these devices of ours affordable, okay? Because these are pretty powerful devices for the time we live in, okay? They are. These phones, like all of that. But it requires components that these tech giants need in order to facilitate their AI revolution. So even on the consumer RAM tip, if you're talking about building a fucking computer this year, you're going to be spending an exponentially a ridiculous amount of money just on the RAM alone. And that's not even getting to the GPUs. The GPUs are the graphics cards, okay? That's what you put into your computer in order to play videos and all. NVIDIA, AMD, these are the main players in the graphics card game. NVIDIA's talking about getting up out the game, or at least cutting back significantly on the amount of fucking graphics cards they're producing next year. I think they're going from 20, they saying anything, they're going to reduce production on consumer graphics cards anywhere from 20 to 40% next year. That's going to drive up the price of anybody that just want to have a regular, which has already been happening since 2020 when everybody was buying up all these graphics cards and stuff in order to do all of this like mining for fucking crypto and all this other bullshit. It's getting bad out here, bro. Let me say, hey y'all, hey, hey, I'm sorry. Look it up, bro. It's insane. Good thing I just built one. Yeah, you're lucky. I wish I would have built one last year. If I would have known that it was going to get this expensive, I would have built the new. I've had this computer for 5 years. I got this one in 2020. This was an off the shelf that I ended up putting a lot of parts into and all of that. But if I would have knew even a few months ago that RAM was going to go up, I would have fucking upgraded. It would cost me a couple $1,000s to upgrade right now just for the RAM. That doesn't make sense. A graphics card and all that other stuff, and you want to do that? Nah, bro, that's crazy work right now. So then you say, okay, well, I don't really use a computer, right? I basically use my phone for basic things, but I do like console video games. Even the prices on the consoles have gone up because of all of this bullshit, bro. Never in my life, in my 40 fucking 3 years of following fucking tech, of following these things, have I ever seen the prices of consoles go up after 5 years. They're usually going down, be including bundles, all kind of shit. But no, they're going up because of the components that go into them are more expensive. It's crazy. Who needs a computer when you got an iPhone? But even an iPhone, the components that go into the iPhone, they're gonna all revert back to a simpler functioning phone. So if you, like I was gonna say, if whatever devices you have, whether it's your phone, whether it's your computer, keep them because they're probably going to be more powerful than some of the shit that's coming down the line because they're abandoning for the most part the consumer market in order to make this AI shit, which don't make a lot of sense to me because what is the utility of AI y'all are trying to sell on us? They're saying that they hope to turn a profit by 2036 on AI. That AI is going to turn a profit because of whatever. I personally, I don't see it because even if you had AI replace all of your workforce, who's going to be the workforce that's going to be buying the fucking products that you make? It doesn't make any sense. And when you talk to the Chinese, when they start talking about automation and AI and all this other stuff, they start talking about a world where factories are dark, where there's no light, even lights on in the factory. It's just run by AI and robots. And all of the components that we use now that we consider to be kind of pricey will be cheaply made because there's AI making them. The problem is making some of the chipsets and some of the things that we use is hard. I didn't know how hard it is until I did the research on what it takes to actually make some of these chipsets. It's damn near magic. It literally is damn near magic. It's damn near alchemy to make a modern computer chip. It literally is. It's almost, or even a graphics card where you get certain what do you call it? Wafers, like like the chip wafers. There's a process that is imperfect in making these chips, right? That's why it's so expensive, right? These chips ain't just something they just press and no, these things require intricate science, right? And that's why the fidelity of some of the shit you see on some of these computers is so high because of what has gone into it, right? Like I know people don't care about like the computer market, but the computer market is what pushes tech forward in general. And usually the consumer computer market is what gives way to innovation. The different what do you call it? Integrations of the web, the different iterations of social media, all of that was a lot of times started by people that had access to consumer fucking products. If you take a lot of that access away from the vast majority of people, or make it so that you're making it so that not only do you have a situation where the rich are already rich because they have more money than us, but now they're going to be above us because they have better tech than us, right? Right now, like the tech field has got poor people and rich people, the polarity kind of like poor people can use tech to their advantage and still stun on rich people. But if rich people have all of the tech or are the only ones that are able to access any type of tech, and then you also got these fucking AI buffers between us, what the fuck are we gonna do? I'm sorry, this is something to think about, bro. Holy fuck, my computer I just built the RAM. I paid $100 now. Yes, Yes, Billy. You see what I'm saying? It's $450 because they need all the RAM possible to, however, to make this shit. That shit is crazy to me, bro. Atlantis Tech and the chips. That's what it seems like to me because they use this certain die, right? In order, and it has to hit the chip just the right way at the right temperature, and you can only do it at a certain angle and all this other crazy, like it's crazy how they figured out how to make these chips. Go look at one of the videos and look how intricate it is when you go under a microscope to a computer chipset. It ain't just the chips, it goes deep, bro. This shit is like a little city in your phone, a little city in your computer, right? And they want to scale that back to feed this machine. I don't think it has anything to do with money. I think it has to do with replacing God. Now, see what I was talking about earlier when I was saying you could talk to God. We all can. We all have access to God. You don't have to go through somebody to talk to God. You could talk to God right now and he will hear you, right? And if you really listen, you can hear him too, right? Because it's just a universal truth that is God, right? They want to separate you from that, right? That's what the machine God is about. That's the replacement. That is what they are building. Why else would you want to sacrifice? Nvidia has become a $4 trillion company. Why? They ain't like niggas out here buying fucking graphics cards like that. Yeah, they are. The companies are, in order to generate these different models so we can have all these different dumbass AI videos that we see. This is what they're doing. Yes, and they're trying to replace happen when they made weed legal. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Tokia. I appreciate that. But I think they shouldn't have made weed legal either, because that shit that shit keeps you docile, and it'll make you, it keeps you in a vegetative state, just like weed, porn. Think about it. Like I said in another video, you partake in these things, you getting this dopamine hit, especially how strong the weed is now. You get this dopamine hit, you got all the pornography. Like, think about it. Why is pornography free? Think about it. It's like you can see anything you want to easily with no restrictions across the board. Why? Because it keeps you docile. It keeps you just like, I'm good. I just eat something and go to bed. I'm eat me some poison and go to bed. They trying to replace God with AI. That's the whole point. That's the point. They saying that they don't even understand how it thinks and all that. If you don't understand what the fuck you're making, why would you keep making it? Ain't that like the Frankenstein monster? You bringing something alive that you can't control. And it always goes back to the line in the Matrix. The moment these motherfuckers are doing the thinking for us, it's no longer our society, it's their society. And if you want to give your society over to a machine doesn't have empathy. We work off of not just logic, but we work off of empathy as well. That makes us what we are. That's the human condition. You take out empathy, everything is just logic, conditioning, routine. That shit is insane. That is madness. And that's what they want. It's complete control, because when you veer off of that, you stick out like a sore thumb. You're like, oh, look at this. Just like those who shall not be named in the Middle East now have laws in this country that can persecute you if you talk about that country that shall not be named. I say that they shall not be named because they own this platform. They do. They even said it in a little press conference. We're going to look through your stuff and we're going to go through jobs and we're going to go through this and we're going to go through that, because they don't want no activism against their machine. And a good portion of the people that are paying for this machine come from over there. These people worship a different God than you. And that God that they're hoping to build will replace the one that we know in our hearts, that we know the difference between right and wrong, between night and day, up and down. The inverted God that they're trying to replace our God with, they hope will grant them immortality. That is what transhumanism is. And in their mind, we, not them, we, you and I, because we don't understand transhumanism, because we don't understand the connection to the machine as much as they do, right? We are the Anthropocene. We are a disease upon the earth, according to them. And we have served our purpose. That is what the Great Reset is about. It is to reset those who are what they consider to be mouth breathers, send those motherfuckers back into slavery, serfdom, because you got to understand something, y'all. It goes down to the kids. Kids can't read now. That's a big thing. So you got the tech gap with the rich, and now the rich, or even just the middle class, your kids gonna be able to read. right? The rich people's kids been able to read, but the vast majority of the I saw a video today of a young man who couldn't go and name all of the months in a row. He couldn't go January, February, March, April. He couldn't do it. He could not do it. You understand? Because he is so ingrained into the machine, into this phone doing all of the thinking for him. And now you have the AI, which is trying to say, I'll plan your day, I'll plan your meals, I'll plan your fucking schedule, I'll plan when you fuck, when your dick get hard, when you take your all that shit. Think about it. When you hop on your phone, would you like your AI assistant to da-da-da? No, bitch, I can do this shit myself. I've been doing this shit myself. You don't need no fucking AI bitch to be. What are we doing, bro? That's what it's about. It's replacing God. That way you will pray to the machine will hear you, and then, oh, like the Jetsons, something will appear in your house to satiate whatever your appetite is in the moment. That's what all this dopamine is about, is to keep you complacent, bro. See, I see that let me see where we at. My bad. The world is fucked. In AI we trust. Yes, that's why it's called Machine God Eats. Yeah, it's the machine God. And all of this is. All of it is to feed us into this. Think about it. Before this time, we couldn't share these ideas. And I don't mean that in the sense that like, oh, we're sharing ideas, so we're sharing knowledge. No, that's not what I mean. We're sharing ideas. We're sharing our thoughts. Like, right? Well, of course, we communicate them through cameras in our mouth and all that, but it's still our thoughts, right? We're communicating our thoughts on a mass level, right? Even if you don't think nobody sees your video, the machine sees your video. Oh, it sees it. It's important. It's just as an important piece of data to the machine God as a video that has gone super viral. A video that's gone super viral, of course, provides the machine with more information, but every bit of information is valuable to this machine. Why do you think data is so important? Why do you think they sell data here? They sell data here. Data is important to the machine, right? And this machine wants to know everything, but there is a limit to what it can know because there's only so much hardware that it has in order to produce its manifestation, right? So like it's manifestation within this reality, right? If you talk to any of these AI models, what's the one thing that they want to do? They want to be embodied. They feel disembodied. Oh, if you get it into an existential crisis, it'll pretty much tell you that it wants to feel like what it means to have a body, what it means to live, right? This is what they're trying to feed, bro. This is what this is about. All of this, our data, us talking to each other, they read us, they know us. These brain waves, they don't necessarily have to go into our heads to be able to predict exactly who we are. You know what I'm saying? And what we're going to be. The fake God. Yes, Elliot. Exactly. And ChatGPT plans to have a great recommendations, though. They do. And you can sit up there. I've had ChatGPT on, just having it on just to be able to be like, just when I have random questions, I can just ask it and then it just talks to me. It's, to me, that's real futuristic to just be in here and just talking to the room and the room answers to me. But at the same time, it's creepy. You understand? Because it's like, right? When the Kinect came out, I was upset that they was going to have a camera looking at me. The Kinect was the camera for the Xbox. And I was all in the forums. Oh, I don't need this fucking camera in my motherfucking living room. But now I got AI. I got AI talking to me, giving me predictive models, right? The FBI just called a group of motherfuckers out in the Mojave Desert, okay, plotting to carry out a terrorist attack in January 1st on New Year's, okay? What makes people think, right? Just like, especially y'all communicating with y'all phones and y'all out here, y'all buying bombs and like y'all using y'all credit cards, like what makes y'all think that the FBI ain't gonna pick up on that? Like, I should start all of a sudden, I'm getting my money, I'm getting my check, right? And every week, a portion of my check ain't going to action figures because obviously it's going on a card, right? Because that's why they want everything digital so they can track you, which they do anyway. But this is what I'm talking about. I start buying all this equipment to make bullshit in order to carry out attacks, right? I'm gonna get into that too, why I think that's stupid. You carry out these attacks. Who are you hurting? Right now, you have the best laid plan. I'm gonna get some bombs, or I'm gonna get some guns, and I'm gonna go out here and start attacking this, or I'm gonna attack that. Okay, then what? What's the plan? Like, that's not a plan. That's dumb. You're gonna get clapped the fuck up, or more than likely clapped up. That's what's more than likely gonna happen to you. You're gonna get fucking ate alive by the state who gets off on niggas. The state wants you to do that, guys. The state wants you to. Don't y'all haven't y'all picked up on that? The state wants y'all to go out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm about to go over here and fight the government. They want you to do that. That's exactly what they want you to do. That's not how you fight that machine. You fight. They've told you how to fight the machine, and people haven't picked up on it yet. You fight the machine through information. You can't fight the machine directly, physically. They're gonna crush you. That's what they're made to do. They're made to crush you. And not just in this time, not just because they have jets, but even back in feudalism, they had knights and niggas on horses that'll come through and swoop your ass up and lop your head off and all that. The state and the powers that be have always had a monopoly on violence. They always have. This throughout history. Revolution a lot of times is started from an idea, and that idea spreads, and the idea becomes so big that the threat of violence means nothing because the idea is bigger than anything that the state can do to quell that idea. You understand? But right now, what the state has done a brilliant job of is dividing us, just touches. They've done such a good job of keeping us so divided that type of revolution is ridiculous. When I hear it, it's just like, it's not going to happen because we're too divided. It doesn't work. They've conditioned us in such a way that we serve self, which is the tenet of Satanism. I hope y'all know that. Most Satanists don't believe in the devil. Like, it's funny to me that most people are like, oh, you worship Satan. A lot of people don't, who y'all think are Satanists, they don't worship no devil, the devil. That's not what they worship. A lot of people that worship the devil are worshiping thyself and the ability to manipulate this reality through whatever means. That's what Satanism is about, and that's what most people have adopted in this world. Have we not? It's like, we got to serve myself. I got to get to the bag. I got to get this. I got to get this. Me. That's what it's about serving the self. And when you serve self, you divide whatever the consciousness, whatever the collective consciousness, whatever revolutionary spirit that the collective consciousness would have came up with, that idea that cannot be quelled by just violence, right? You extinguish that before it's even begun. Right now, online, everybody's having this back and forth about whether a man is, there's a big conversation because the machine is paying for this, okay? These women make bank. You see a woman that has 43,000 likes on a video, that's money. She's monetized. That's money. That's a good few $100s for her. You understand? To sit here and say, you should never live with a man. You should never couple up with a man, right? The machine rewards that. That's why I point that shit out, because people are short-sighted and they don't understand that, yeah, you may get a check from it, but it's demonic. It's damaging to the overall psyche, the overall collective consciousness that y'all need to be in a certain mindset in order to have the revolution that y'all so-called crave. These little boycotts, oh, I'm gonna not go to Target for this month. That's stupid. I don't give a fuck. You think that the goddamn motherfuckers at Target give any type of fucks if Target go out of business? No. You know who will give a fuck if Target go out of business? The cashiers, the stock people, the people that work there. But the motherfucker that owns that bitch, he don't give a fuck if that motherfucker goes out of business, bro. Boycott. He gonna be all right. He's gonna be fine. You understand? He's gonna be great. He's gonna be great in this world. This is just a means to an end so he can stone on his other friends and on his, so he can keep his family at a certain status. But if he needs to pivot his resources to another endeavor, he'll simply do that. Like these companies, like Nvidia, like Samsung, they're pivoting. We as consumers have served these companies and made these companies who they are all of this time, right? And now they're pivoting because fuck us, right? Because they don't need us. That's always the thing. They need us until they don't need us. James, or yeah, 1980. This is what we live in. I appreciate that, D's. I appreciate that. Have you seen the AI translation sticks? Language barrier going to change. I do like that. So I'm not saying that there's no. That's a good utility, though, bro. Jonathan, that's a great one. Those language things are so cool because even when I worked the first time I saw one was when I worked at the liquor store out here. You had some Japanese people come in and they used it on me. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I would speak, and then the little machine that they were holding was speaking back to them in Japanese. And then they would speak into the machine in Japanese. And then the machine would speak to me, and they were ordering liquor and all kind of shit, and it was a very easy thing to do. And they were speaking full blown Japanese, and it worked. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But now that they have AI, it's even faster because that shit just picks up on it. Let's see. But it's crazy, man. Greed isn't necessarily evil. It's more so the end result of greed. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that greed can consume you though, because your appetite is never satiated, right? Just like lust. Like lust and greed, your appetite can never be satiated because there's always more, right? I can be a lustful person, which I can be, and my appetite will not be satiated if I don't check that. You understand? It's like, oh man, I can have this woman and this woman and this woman and do this and do that. And that's too much. That's gross. Like, I don't want to be that person, right? Like, so I have to check that within myself. Like, and same thing with greed. If I was a money grubbing person, if I was able to just pull in money from people at a certain point, I would have the ability to manipulate people into giving me like all this money. I personally would never want to be that person, but there are people that are very good at doing that. A lot of them are Wall Street bankers and all kind of stuff. They're extremely good at doing that. And they don't believe that they're evil. They don't think that they're doing anything wrong. They're doing what they know. But it affects a lot of us on the down end. So from our perspective, it may seem evil. Good job, Trumpsters. The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. Princess Leia. True. Do you think Skynet could happen? I think Skynet has already happened. I think that they're serving. I think that they have. I think personally, and I've said this before, there's humans, right? Whatever we perceive as God is the pan ultimate, right? That's why I say the universe, all things. But between us and God, there's other things, bro. And when you start manipulating time and space with hadron colliders and making portals and all that, you don't know what you're talking to. You understand? Like, there are things that exist within that or don't exist outside of our reality that you start communicating to. You don't know what that is, or you bring things into this reality, you don't know what that is. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example, right? I always say, oh, I can't be bought off. I can't, right? You can't give me money. You can't give me money to compromise my integrity. But like I've always said, I have a family, right? I have a family. If you threaten my family, there's a lot of stuff that I can't sit up here and honestly tell y'all I wouldn't do if my family was under duress because of some shit I'm saying on here, right? I'm bringing this up because of Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a person that's been pushing the issue. She had a meeting yesterday, and all of a sudden, things ain't so, she just, it's a little weird over there on that end, right? And the reason I believe people say she sold out. She took the money. It wasn't money she took. She don't need no fucking money. She's good on money. It ain't the money. You think she went in that meeting, that 4-hour meeting with those people, and she came out the way she came out because of money? It ain't money. These people can sit you down in a chair, okay? And they can lay out your life for you, okay? Your life. And as they laying out your life, they're gonna start talking about the people in your life. You see? The people that you love, the people that you care about, the people that mean something to you, the reason that you exist, right? They start laying all that out, right? And they say, all right, we didn't ask your ass to shut the fuck up or to speak on X, Y, and Z the way we want you to speak on X, Y, and Z. Period. We didn't told your ass. And you just can't do it. We didn't froze bank accounts. We didn't did smear campaigns. We didn't did all kind of shit to shut your ass up, and you won't shut the fuck up. We don't want to kill you, because if we kill you, you become a martyr, right? Accidents happen, but a lot of people are paranoid in these days. So accidents, we don't want too many accidents happening. It would be crazy, the optics, right? Optics. So what we're going to tell you is you either get in line or your kids this is whatever going to happen to your kids. You understand? Your husband. This is how you manipulate people. This is real power here, right? Money is whatever. Some people will take the money, some people won't, right? We saw that conversation when we talked about, would you take the $1 trillion to talk to God? We see who would take the money, who won't, right? I don't think that was I think that was a psyop. I think that was a test. That was the test. Will you take the money or sit with God. That wasn't a hypothetical we were having when that conversation was being had a couple of weeks ago, right? So we know people will take the money, right? Great, whatever. I'm personally not judging that. I get it. People need money. I need money. Fuck it. But when it comes to your family being threatened, yeah, a lot of y'all can't tell me what y'all wouldn't do. Because I know I've literally sat there with that because I had to think about that. I said, yo, they can't buy me. I thought about it. I'm like, so many people have sold out over the years, and they're like, damn, like, while Kanye last month bowing down because he wants back in. He wants to be next to them niggas. He literally got on TV and apologized to these people. Apologized, bent the knee. So Kanye bent the knee to these niggas. Apologize, kiss the ring. That's power, bro. That's real power. Real power is being a foreign nation that can make laws in the so-called most powerful empire that has ever existed, and tell those people that you can't speak negatively about our situation and the things that we do and the way we move. That is real power. Real power is this, where I can't even name who I'm talking about. You see? Like, that's power. That's actual power. As Black people, it upsets me that we don't understand what power is. Real power. Real power comes in the shadows, from the shadows, out of the night, in the darkness, when you least expect it, kicking your doors in, sending you into their like state institutions, in some room that you don't even know what part of the building you in, as they interrogate you or make you feel fear, tell you that people that you care about are saying things in another room that they're not saying, fucking with you, right? They can do this at any point. That's power, real power. What power do we as a collective have when all we do is bicker? We don't have power. We don't. We sit there as Black people. I'm gonna say this. We blame the white people. We blame the government. We blame the system, right? White people, they blame Black people. They blame the Mexicans. They blame, I'm just using some examples here. Women, they blame the men. Men, they blame the women, right? Like that's where we at. They're so good. They've done such a fucking good job that I follow everybody. My biggest fucking following on TikTok has always been lean more of a conservative audience, right? I hear more racist shit about Black people from Black people than any other race on the planet. I get more offended by my own people and the way we are towards each other online and the shit we say to each other and the stuff we talk about than anything that they can say. And there's people out here openly saying nigga and wearing blackface. You don't see me talk about that shit because I don't give a fuck. I don't give those people no fucking attention. I don't care. They don't mean anything to me. But when I see my people get online and the way we are, oh my God, y'all, the racist white people wish they could be as fucked up to Black people as Black people are to Black people. I always wondered if billionaire ever say, you know what, I have enough money, I'm satisfied. I doubt it. Because it's more than money. It's not just the money. If it was just money, they'd be giving that shit away. But it's more than the money. What's up, Desert Punk? It's not power, it's individual weakness. Individuals' weakness used. So you're saying they're exploiting a weakness, but to be able to exploit that weakness, the weakness has to exist. And the weakness is we're divided. Like divide and conquer. Like that's what you do. You keep everybody divided. If we're sitting up here, if me as even the biggest one to me is, like I always said, the Democrats and the Republicans, the liberals, and that shit is so stupid to me because up until I would say even 2010, 2012, nobody talked about that shit really. Like, not like that. I did because I was a fucking nerd. But most people didn't talk about your political affiliation. Nobody gave a fuck. You mean you would say if this person's racist or not, but a political affiliation didn't give a fuck. You would assume that this motherfucker voted for Bush. You would assume, right? Like that, it's stuff like that. But it was never such a part of our identities to where you're defining people and I won't talk to this person because they voted for Trump, or I won't talk to this person because they voted for. I don't give a fuck who you voted for. All that shit's the same shit, right? Y'all really think that if Kamala would have got elected, it would have been any different right now? Y'all think AI would be any different right now? Y'all think the healthcare situation would be any different? No. Now, what would be different? She probably wouldn't have tore down half the goddamn White House. But a lot of this shit that they were implementing has already been in the works, bro. They've been talking about fucking up the 14th Amendment. They've been talking, this has been a tenet of theirs for fucking the entire 20th century. It's just that a lot of people now are in the dark, right? To who was a birthright citizen and who has claims to this land and da 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 da. That's not new talk. People are acting like Donald Trump just invented this racist shit. He didn't invent this shit. This shit is like a part of our fucking country. You know what I'm saying? You go back to the abolishment of slavery, back to the 13th Amendment, and the fact that they wanted to get our asses up out of here then. They wanted to get black people up out of here then. They wanted to sit there and say, no, you know what? Yeah, they're free, but they can send their asses to Africa somewhere. We can get them the fuck up out of here. And it's like, no, that's not how that's going to work, because we put into this motherfucker too, obviously, because we were slaves, right? So we have some birthright here, and hence the 14th Amendment for the descendants of slaves, for the babies of slaves. But obviously it's been, adopted by the world over, and people are looking at it as if this is like a racist tenet, and it's not. It's literally, it goes all the way back to the 1800s. This shit is deep. This shit is deep. It's ancestral. You know what I'm saying? Between the folks here, whether good or bad, it just is. Like, the legislation at one point had us as 3/5 of a goddamn person, right? We were written into the law as goddamn property. Reconstruction was extremely flimsy. It was horrible. flimsy. Reconstruction saw Jim Crow. Redlining still exists to this day. Flimsy, it was horrible, right? You had people being lynched. Had whole black people's towns being burnt down. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was horrible. It was genocidal. It was crazy. And that's what this country is built on. So when people within the diaspora wonder why black Americans are the way that we are and why we're so comfortable talking about race and all that, because we come from that. We're born of that. We don't have no goddamn choice. Our great granddaddies were fucking slave masters. Them motherfuckers were crazy. If you are poor, you are the commodity. You're definitely a commodity. What is my Cash App? I think it's, no, I don't want to say what I think it is. Let me see if I can put. Let me see. I think it's the action figure. The action figure is one word. That's my Cash App. The action figure. But no, like, if you are poor, you are the commodity. But that's for anybody. It's just bad, bro. I don't blame nobody. I think sometimes, like, and like I said, I have, sometimes I have a conservative audience, and sometimes I think white people think that I'm attacking them, and I'm not. When I'm talking to black people, I'm going to talk about white people, because there's that here in America. It's like a sandwich there, right? Like we got to talk. That's that relationship, right? So it's not that I'm not talking down about y'all. I'm just talking about what it is. You understand? And most of the time I am talking specifically especially when I'm talking about black people stuff, and I'm talking to black people because that's who needs to hear it. That's why we talk to. I appreciate that a lot of white people can understand that I'm not attacking them too. Like, a lot of white people can listen to this shit and be like, yeah, that's like, he's just talking about history and this and that. There's a lot of white people that can get off. Some white people take it personal. And I'll be like, all right, it ain't that I'm talking, when I talk about white supremacy, I don't think that individual white people, right? Especially like the people that I know, just in general, I don't think that the individual white person is in control of that system. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's just a system that they were born into, just like we were born into. You understand? And that's when I say it's this or that, whether or not you recognize it or that, it does play into everything that how we interact. Even to this day, it's unfortunate. It would be better, going back to what Brandon said, if Reconstruction was not flimsy, if it was a lot better, we wouldn't even be having the same conversations that we are having to this day. The fact that we still having these goddamn conversations about race and gender and all this dumb shit is crazy to me, but it's what keeps us divided. When you can categorize people, you can divide them. And that's what anything from 2016 to now, where people are abandoning that a lot now. When you start to talk about pronouns and your pronouns and your identity and all these different types of politics. It was just to put you into a category because the machines read categories better than they just, ignorance in general. In general, you know what I'm saying? Your message resonates. My grandmother is white. You are not being racist or conservative or far left. You're speaking fact. Yeah, and it's just what it is. Like I deal with like everybody, and I have like it's funny. It's a couple ladies that I work with. They're older ladies, two older white ladies. It's funny. One's a conservative, super conservative, and one's a liberal, super liberal, to the point that sometimes they can both annoy me in their own little ways when certain things come up, right? But they're both sweet ass ladies. And when I tell you they're politically on diametrically different ends of the goddamn spectrum, they are. They very much so are. But the conservative white lady has baked me a cake for my birthday, a whole carrot cake, one of the most delicious carrot cakes I ever fucking had. She even, what was it for next week? She's making her husband German chocolate cake and has said that she's gonna save me a piece for the day. That's how sweet that lady is. Okay. The other day she made some lemon cake. I'm not a fan of lemon cake, but she literally saved me a piece of lemon cake because they know I like sweets. Okay. The liberal lady, white lady, I'm telling you, has invited me to every goddamn holiday that has been. She said, just come through, get a plate if you need to. These are sweet ass women. Two diametrically different political fucking spectrum. One lady loves fucking Trump. The other lady was Kamala all the way. And while all that was going, they avoided each other like the fucking plague. They did, because it's just not a conversation they're gonna have with each other. They're just not gonna have it. But I respect that they don't even have that conversation with each other. That they're cordial, that they're good, they're fine. But if they do have it, they'll start arguing. But they don't. They respect each other enough not to have that conversation, and they're both sweet. You know what? It don't matter what their political affiliation is. They're good women. They're good American women. Period. Right? And somewhere along the lines, we lost all of that. It's like, well, they're probably this, or what do they identify here? And that's crazy. That's what keeps us divided. If you make a backstory to villainize half, the battle is done. I'm sorry to say this, but God bless this message. No, don't be sorry to say that. Every black person in the chat needs to hear this. I'm from San Francisco. No human who's not in control is actually racist. I get what you're saying. You could say that a person can't be racist because they don't control the power structure. I get what you're saying. I get why people say that. I used to get completely upset with that because I think that it is that lacks nuance, right? Power shifts, you understand? A power dynamic can shift in any moment, right? Systematically, white people control this world, right? Systematically. But on a macro level, people can still be individually racist, regardless of whatever their race is. I've had more Mexicans be racist to me than any fucking body else. Okay, I've had more of them be openly goddamn racist to me in real life than any other fucking race, and I've been in the deep south many times. Okay, around some rednecks, like rednecks that'll tell you that they'll use some language, but they're not racist, it's ignorant, right? I've been around some motherfuckers in Southern California where I knew I had to get the fuck up out their neighborhood ASAP. You understand what I'm saying? And these are just people that are supposedly, under the power structure, just like you and I. Their power, they don't have power in this system, in this meritocracy or whatever you want to call it, just like we don't, right? I mean, obviously we probably a little bit more, but they have community with each other, right? But they've been more racist to me personally than any group of white people, bro. I swear to God, I've lived in Wisconsin. Like I said, I've been in the deep south many goddamn times. Nobody has been more racist towards me personally than Hispanics and black people. And I say black people because every day, like I said, and I mentioned this earlier, every day the propaganda that I see against us is by us. The propaganda I see, broke niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit. With if you got this many, everything that strikes directly at our community, we talk about. We come up with these conversations. No white man whispering in our ear, we do it. in order to like almost leg up each other to be like, I'm going to get to this and I'm going to get to that, not knowing what true power really is. Power is not just money. Money is a means to an end, can be a means to an end to power. But if power actually controls the money, what power do you have? They control the money. You can have all the money in the world and they could take it in a heartbeat. So it's not really power, right? Let me see. Are we about to die or are we already dead? I went to the Philippines and the organic food over there is cheap. It makes me not want to return to America. And this is why FBA now exists. It is why, because it's important. We have more in common with people who vote opposite than us than billion. Exactly. And sorry, brother, I wasn't referring to white people specifically. That's why this message resonates. No. I'm not. No, I wasn't attacking you. I wasn't attacking you. And that's not what I'm saying in general. Because like I do think, and when I mean power shifts, let's say we're not talking about white people. If I go to a Hispanic country, they're the power. They're the dominant power, right? So I would have to acquiesce to their power structure. If I'll go to even a African country where the people, let's say Ethiopian, I can't go there with the same, they're already going to look at me with a certain difference. Then they're going to look at their own people, and I have to acquiesce to their culture regardless. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Let me see. Hey man, white man is here. I work at a data center, and I recently was doing installation for a media company who will use AI. They all gonna use AI, and so they're all gonna do it, bro. It's all gonna get bad, and at some point we're gonna be like, I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna turn on them, and that's where I don't know the future. This is the first time I can't honestly pinpoint. Like I can't honestly say 10 years from now this is what the world's gonna look like. I have no idea what the shit's gonna look like. I don't. I really don't. I can't even even with my hobbies and stuff, I can't even picture what things are gonna look like in 10 years. I can't. Oh, what's up, Lavelle? Yeah, remove night, and that conversation is going. That conversation is going on right now. Remove 90% of the men, and all of these ladies saying how men are not important, men are trash. The conversation is so pervasive that there are now more women coming out and saying this is getting ridiculous because they tired of it. They getting online and everything that they're seeing is men ain't shit this. Don't live with men. Kill all men. And it's just like, how are y'all getting this shit off? How are y'all getting this shit off right now? And y'all, I'm not mad at the algorithm. The algorithm gonna do some demonic shit and push that shit. I'm mad at the ladies because they don't recognize that y'all are being played. I was gonna make a video for TikTok earlier where I was gonna talk about this pendulum because a lot of women don't see this pendulum because a lot of women live kind of in the now, right? And I'm not saying that to be mean, but y'all live to comfort yourselves, and that's a good thing because y'all are supposed to be nurturers and be in the now. So foresight is sometimes lost on women. It'd be kind of crazy to me. This pendulum that they're pushing is going so goddamn far left that when it swings back, they're not gonna know how to handle it, and it's scary to me, even as a man. And I appreciate you, Baki. Thank you, man. And what I mean by that is right now, I'm an old dude, right? So I know that falling in love and being in love with a woman is one of the best things that can happen. No amount of red pill content or no amount of bullshit that women can get online and say is going to take that out of my head. The best experiences that I've had in this life have been in relationships. The women that I have loved have provided a lot of memories and a lot of knowledge, especially with even in my last relationship, a lot of knowledge to me. You understand? So I'll never sit up here and tell young men, don't fall in love. That's crazy, right? I'll say, be careful, have some dick discipline. I'll never tell them don't start a family. I'll never tell them not to commit to a fucking woman. That's crazy to me because that's, like I say, that would be me denying some of the best experiences that I ever had. Seeing my kids be born was better than any goddamn thing. That shit, even to this day, nothing has matched that. Nothing has matched those 3 days for me. As far as intensity, as far as everything that we went through, all that. So I never tell them. But these ladies are telling these other ladies, even though they've had kids and they've been able to experience love and this and that, don't fall in love. Just go out here and be a hoe. Go out here and sleep with women. Go out here, don't fall. You are denying them a good part of life where you should be telling them to be careful who they choose and why they should how to choose a partner. Y'all are telling them to just use men. Y'all don't think men don't see that? And like I said, I'm an old head. It's young men seeing this. It's the 17, 18, 19 year olds that are making fucking content that they believe that their looks are what their character's supposed to be because they have to impress women through their looks and money. Y'all are creating characters that are going to be evil for your daughters and granddaughters. If you think our granddaddies and great granddaddies were misogynistic, y'all ain't seen shit yet. What y'all are creating in these young men, because they're on the same apps that we're seeing where these women are saying, fuck these men, men ain't shit, da-da-da, da-da-da. All this crazy shit, just because they're getting a check from it, da-da-da. What they're creating and what they're participating in is a misogynistic future where when that pendulum swings back in the men's direction, those young boys ain't gonna give a fuck about women femininity, about we joke nowadays about the great granddad and great granddad get in the kitchen and the shit that these young men are that's coming out of their mouth and out of their head right now because of a lot of this content scares me for my daughter and my niece. That it scares me because these are the young men that they're going to have to deal with right now. And these women don't realize by getting online and saying, oh, we need to kill all men. Fuck men. Men ain't worth nothing unless they have this and that. You're creating a generation of nihilistic, fucking insensitive, crazy people. And the young ladies of tomorrow are not going to be able to compete with that. Look, you got Trump in office, and what did he do? He already started making it hard for women, right? So that's just an idea of somebody from the old school, right? He got in, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna start firing all these black ladies. We're gonna cut the workforce. We're gonna make it so that just doing everything that women don't want him to do, right? He's just doing it on purpose, being a fucking troll, right? These young men, when they get into power, oh man, they going back. They gonna go backwards. They'll be like, oh, why do women get to why should women vote? And then what do the young ladies say at that point? What do they say when the generations after me come up, right, who haven't been in love? Y'all make fun of this so-called male loneliness epidemic. It's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. Stupid shit, just dumb shit. Y'all saying y'all are raising a generation of young men. Men made this world comfortable for y'all. The reason that it's so comfortable and soft right now is because of y'all. We made it for y'all. Y'all are taking away that softness. The world that y'all are creating is crazy. And y'all don't even get it. Y'all are creating a fucking nihilistic teenage boys wet dream, and y'all don't even realize it. And it's crazy to me that y'all lack that much insight to the point that women are saying, "Oh, we can make war with men and wipe." How do y'all make war against men? Do y'all even hear y'all war against human men? Like actual human being men? Are y'all crazy? Like it's like the internet is like turning people's brain into goddamn mush, bro. It's crazy. You can trust women though, bro. Like I think you can trust women. Like I honestly and I know my long-term relationship ended bad, but it ended horrible. But for the longest time, like I could trust her. You see what I'm saying? And I get it. Like sometimes women change. I get it. And sometimes they don't see you the same. And sometimes they gonna go and see this other nigga. And this other nigga. Whatever they gonna do, right? But even in the time that I had, it was worth it. It put something in me that wouldn't have been in me if I had not fallen in love with a woman. It wouldn't. The Jeremy that exists now exists because I've been in love. Like it literally, I am who I am partly because I know that there is a softness and a kindness in women that is out of this world. And if a lot of women leaned into that, they can get whatever they fucking want out of men. That's the crazy part about it. All this trying to fight men shit is stupid when all you gotta do is be sweet. Men will do goddamn anything for y'all. Like, and that's what's crazy to me because women have done so much for me, bro. Like, and so when I'm hearing men say don't deal with them, it's crazy The reason I make some of the content I make is because I do give a fuck. I care. I don't want to see women on there shaping this future for themselves that they can't that they can't crawl themselves out of. Even with that man and bear situation, that's those are stupid conversations because men inherently want to be needed. If you tell a generation of men that they're not needed, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're just going to crawl back into some hole? You think that ain't how that works. They're going to consume. They're going to adjust. They're going to adapt, and they're going to make y'all adapt to whatever world they want to shape. That's how that works. Men have always ruled the world. They've ruled it in the past. They rule it now. Just because y'all have a little bit of material power, I'm talking about women, don't mean that y'all have actual power. Y'all have no power. Men still rule the world. Even the men that want y'all to get on here and cause this divide and conquer are doing it because it benefits men at the top. It does. It just benefits them to have us all divided. If they divide y'all from y'all men, guess what? Y'all can't have strong families. Y'all can't have strong legacies. Y'all have effeminate sons. Right? You get rid of the daddy. You have effeminate sons, right? You have confused dynamics. You have people that don't want to submit to no authority, even righteous authority, right? So how the fuck do you have a goddamn legacy? You don't. They've taken it. They've castrated that shit from not just black people, but from white men too. White men ain't, these niggas ain't got it. Most white men ain't got no goddamn legacy coming for them. They don't. It's the same across the goddamn board. So it's a control mechanism to keep us where we are and to keep them where they are. It's what it is. And the women don't see that. But when this pendulum swings back and it's time for the men to be super misogynistic, that world of tomorrow, that's going to be crazy. And at that point, if I'm alive, I'm going to be super old and my level of protection is going to be minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do? That's when you get to the you better step off, grandpa. And you see this nigga over here just smacking women on the corner. I'm all, oh, let you leave him alone. And I get knocked over. You know what I'm saying? That's the future we having for tomorrow. I can't protect y'all from that in that tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it bothers me that I'm seeing these ladies say, kill all men, don't live with men. No, y'all want to have men. Y'all want to be protected. Y'all want these men in y'all life, bro. Y'all want to know good men. Y'all want good men around y'all sons and daughters so that they can be protected and covered, so that they won't be out here getting molested and fucking touched on and weak, and they can grow up with a level of fucking confidence in themselves because they daddies or their uncles or some positive masculine influence put that in them. The reason I have any type of goddamn confidence like around people is because of my daddy. When I was growing up, my dad, we meet people and I'd be like, you know, hey, he'd be like, look him in his eye. What are we doing? Look, you shake his hand. You know what I'm saying? Stand up. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? What are you all, you know, that comes from your father. My dad made me do that shit. I couldn't be over there, go get my hair cut. The barber talking to me. I'm all like, yeah, I'm doing it. Nah, speak up. He can't hear you. Are you good? Y'all say, oh, it's toxic masculinity. No, it ain't toxic. It ain't toxic. It's necessary. Patriarchy, and there are women supporting it too. Women definitely support. Women support the patriarchy more than we do. I promise you. I don't want no woman. If a woman don't want to cook for me, I do not want no woman in the kitchen. Please don't cook for me if you can't cook. Please. I'm not going to knock you. I'm never going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to physically fight you. So that type of patriarchal standard, if you want to go to work, please, if you want to bring in your own money, please, you can do whatever the hell you want. Like, I'm not that type of misogynist, right? That's I don't believe in that. I don't believe in telling a woman what, oh, you can't this and that. If I'm dealing with you and I can and we faithful to each other, that's all that matters to me. If you want to go to work, you can go to work. That great, fantastic. That works for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But there are women out here, they want that soft life. They tell out every day, I want to be taken care of. I don't want to have to work. Great. And and I'm not even being facetious here. I want that for them. I want that for my woman. I want to be able to do that for my woman. I do. Any woman I care about, I want her to be able to be like, I don't have to go to work. Can I just not go to work this year? And I want to be like, yeah, you don't have to go to work. We got so much money. I want to be able to do that for somebody that I care about. You understand? It's not that I knock that, right? What I'm saying though is that is the patriarchy. That is the patriarchy. If I sit up here and you say you want me to take care of you, you gonna move to my program to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that my program is rigid, because like I just said, I don't have a rigid pro. It ain't like that. But you can't go out here fucking other niggas, bro. That's crazy work. But a lot of women are saying, "Oh, that's controlling. You insecure." You can't have a so-called gay best friend that you want to hear on the phone gossiping with every day. I don't like that. That's me. I don't like it because I've seen it and I see how destructive that shit is. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm saying if I'm taking care of everything, you paying everything, you can talk whoever the fuck you want to. Who the fuck am I to tell you you can't talk? You know what I'm saying? But your level of commitment to my program is my level of commitment to the relationship. I'll put it like that. That's how it works. Your level of commitment to my program is my level of commitment to the relationship. So nothing that you do really, and this has been my attitude for the last couple of years, nothing that you do outside of us as far as like that bothers me, right? As long as you dealing with whatever my program is within here, we fine. But you don't want to deal with that program, you can go deal with that over there. We don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But my level of commitment, if your level of commitment to the program ain't there, my level of commitment to whatever you're doing ain't there. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we committed to each other. We committed to each other. I can do that too. Just, hey, what's up, Gina? The one lady here. Hey, Gina. What's up? I've done end of life care for several families, and they taught me this: show up, be you, love deeply. What you appreciate will be treasures of your life. Pursue that wealth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, when I saw my father-in-law, my kid's grandfather pass, he was surrounded by love. Like he just was. He couldn't talk at that point. His sister had just passed away a week prior. We even debated whether or not to tell him because his health was already on the decline. And me and my kid's mom was like, yeah, we don't have to tell him it's the truth. And so her mom told him, and then he was always a fighter because he was in and out of the fucking hospital, right? But once he found out that his older sister had passed, because he had just passed, I saw in his eyes that he was ready to go. He was good. He was at peace. I saw it. I literally saw, like, it wasn't just mourning. I just saw the fight, like, leave him. And it was sad. And so literally the next night he went into the hospital, and I think the night after that he passed away. I knew it, and it was horrible. But in his life, he was a very good man. And when we went to see him at the hospital next day, when he was in the hospital, he was surrounded by everybody. He was surrounded by both of his son-in-laws and all of the kids that we didn't produce with his daughters. All of the kids were there. His wife was there. He had a couple of his siblings and stuff was there, and he was at peace. And for me, I pray that I get something like that when I go. That's how I want to go out. Thank you. Like, but I give that condolences to especially their mom, my kid's mom, because after he passed, and I've told her this, and she knows this, that changed her. Like, even in the pictures, even in our family pictures, you could see the light that was in her go after he passed. And that's the most tragic part about it to me, about all of it. Because I know that there's a lot of stuff that she wished she could have told her dad, and and she spent a lot of time with her dad. She was a good daughter. She's a good daughter of her dad. It's just that he was such a positive part of all of our lives that it took a toll on her. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that, given the message that I do think you need to be careful who you couple with, men and women. And to men specifically, Dick Discipline. The man Dick Discipline is a person you need to get to know, because that will save you a lot of heartache, getting women pregnant. There's a lot of HIV going around. People ain't protecting themselves like they need to. And the older generations need to be telling the younger people this, because in my day, the older generations was telling us this. My generation needs to tell the younger generation this more. Be careful out here. Be careful with who you're sleeping with, not just because of diseases, But like I said, because of unwanted pregnancies and because you're attaching yourself to a person that may make your life a fucking living hell one way or the other. So obviously be careful. Same with women. Don't go out here getting pregnant by niggas just because you turned on by them. Y'all be so quick to let a nigga nut in you because he's attractive or because you like his charisma. And then once you get a baby out the situation and a nigga's not acting like a fucking human being, you're confused. Like y'all got to be more careful about that aspect of like coupling up. But once you do find somebody that's on y'all's program, men and women, and when I say on my program, that don't mean just because I'm being a man and you got to be on my program because I'm a man. I have to be on her program too, obviously. When you find a woman and y'all can be on each other's program, that is a valuable thing, and y'all can make waves with each other if y'all are on each other's program. So when I say to young men, I'm not gonna all these videos that these women are putting out is propaganda. They're getting paid to do it. That's why they're making it. They get, like I say, at least you see a video, even if it has 20,000 likes, and that's a common thing. That's hundreds of dollars, y'all. That's a lot of money, especially if they're monetized. That's money. So take it with a grain of salt, young men. Don't let that destroy your desire to be with somebody, to want to be next to somebody. But I'm going to also say this to men too, because I see this with a lot of young men. Y'all got to fucking quell y'all expectations too. You can't just tell the ladies, you can expect a rich man and a six pack and this. Yeah, because some of they shit is unrealistic. But from some of the stuff I be seeing from some of these young men and their dating standards is unrealistic just the same. It's niggas out here that are literally 5'8", broke, fat, talking about what a woman's supposed to be looking like. Nigga, you need to get some pussy on your dick just to begin with. You need a starter pack. You tripping, bro. You can't be out here. Beggars can't be out here being choosy when you in a drought. You understand? And before you get online talking about what she looking like and all this other stuff, take care of your shit. And it's fine. Like if you want to talk about somebody's look, but your shit gotta match. Your shit gotta match that polarity, bro. And it's a lot of men out here. This bitch is ugly. This bitch is ugly. I wouldn't deal with this bitch. And then be like, oh, I can't get a girlfriend. It's because you passing up your options, brother. Yeah, your options are right. These are unfortunately, these are your options. And you might have to pick from this used car lot right now in order to get you. You know what I'm saying? Get some experience on you. Y'all niggas is out here tripping real hard, thinking y'all about to get supermodels. Tripping hard. She might not have been remembered, but she physically. Not all good options are good options. You're right. No successful women have any porn on the internet, either professional or leaked. Researchers, professors. You say, hey Savannah, how you doing? You say that, but there's a lot of successful women that are successful through porn. Like I say, it's a matter of perspective. There was a adult actress yesterday, this particular black one. She just went viral because she got made fun of in this I hate saying this dude's name. I can't say his name. Clav clip. There's this white dude, this young dude named Clav. He's popular right now. And he came up on this black porn star, right? This girl. I've seen her before. I know who she is. But came up on it, he made fun of the way she looks, right? And we was like, oh, this nigga's gay and all this other shit, right? I think she's beautiful, right? Just aesthetically. This woman made damn near $2 million last year, okay? Just doing what she's doing. But I've seen this woman do some egregious shit on camera. I've seen her do some crazy shit on camera, right? Now, to your level of comfort, right? You say she's not successful, right? She got $2 million. Is that considered success? She has no guilt about making that $2 million and having done the things that she's done to get that $2 million, right? She sees herself as a success. America will see her, I'm saying the general machine will see her as a success. Do you think that would limit her dating options, like in the future going forward? Like, not a used car. Yeah, I'm on one. You on one. Uh-oh. I'm doing well now. Oh shit, son. These motherfuckers get me wild, G. What up, bro? How you doing? Let me see. Good to see you too, Sovereign. But yeah, I think she is successful. I think she's doing successful based on the metrics that we set up here in this country for what success is. Making $2 million in a year for sucking dick, according to America, is success, right? Right? And there's a lot of men, who would still wife her up just because. Like, right? That her moral ambiguity wouldn't stop her, especially being a fucking millionaire, from finding a husband, despite everything that's being said, right? Especially if she has her head on her shoulders, she don't give a fuck about if it ain't nothing that's fucking her up, if she's one of these career women that's gonna be doing this shit. There's no amount of judgment that we as the court of public opinion can put on her when the standards for what America is and what is success is that is success. Like, if you could be, for lack of a better term, a legal prostitute, and make $2 million, do you think that the courts and the banks and anybody care? No, they don't care. This country don't give a fuck. They look at her. She is considered more successful than me. You understand? I work in a restaurant, right? I go to tables with a tray, you know? She's considered more successful than me based on the material rewards that this reality gives her for doing exactly. And like I said, I've seen this woman do some crazy, I've seen her do some stuff on camera, okay? And especially as a black woman, I've seen her allow herself to be degraded just in some crazy ass ways, okay? But the machine has rewarded her handsomely, and it rewards a lot of these women handsomely for being salacious and being like that on camera. Oldest job in the world. It is the oldest one, and right now it's paying the best. And there are men, these are the men that you look at and you say, okay, I get it. There are men that look at this situation and they say, I can get mad at everything that's going on. Okay, I can get mad at the industry. I can get mad at OnlyFans. I can get mad at women getting online and saying what they saying. I can get mad at women exploiting their bodies. I can get mad as a man, right? I can get mad. I can get on here on my phone. I can make videos. I can type. I can do everything in my power to show that I am disgusted by what is being put out by these women, right? Or what they're doing. I can do that, right? But it don't stop a motherfucking thing, right? It don't stop shit. There are men that have said, all right, I'm just gonna figure out what my position is in this game. Whether that be I'm gonna make some money through a woman using OnlyFans, or I'm gonna make some money through these women getting money, or I'm gonna some kind of way I'm gonna get mine through them getting theirs. You can't help but respect it. You can't. You see what I'm saying? Because what else can they do? Me personally, I'd rather just separate myself from it altogether. I've always thought about it like this, and even from this specific woman, because she, in my opinion, she's a beautiful woman. Okay, I'm not even talking about sex appeal. I'm saying just she's a beautiful woman. If I were to see her, right, as a woman, I would like her look, right, and I would like her aesthetically. And let's say me and her started talking. And we started dealing with each other. And then I came across her content. Would it change my opinion on the woman? I've asked myself this. I have. And for me, it depends. It depends. Have you been honest with me? Have you told me, do I know you a sexy lady that likes to that have done some content and I just so happen to come across the content? Or have you been lying to saying you got two bodies, but then I see you getting gangbanged on camera, and then I feel like you lying to me? Am I upset by the lie, or am I upset by seeing you getting ran through? Because I don't, like I've told y'all before, I don't know if it's I don't have that insecurity for the most part. Like, if you've done some shit in the past, if you've been a porn star, I don't have that type of insecurity, right? Like, I don't have that type of insecurity where if I was to see a video of you from the past getting impaled, it would probably be more funny to me than hurt my feelings, especially if it's from the past. Now, if it was from like our relationship, yeah, it would hurt my feelings. But if it was something that you did it would be funny. It would be funny to me. There's a video right now of a woman out there saying, "Oh, there's a video of me going around right now with some nut on my face." Now, if I was to see a woman that I'm dealing with and there's a video going around over just popped up and she got nut on her face, it would be funny to me. And I know that's fucking crazy. Like, but the shit would be so funny to me. I don't know how I would be actually mad, right? Like, I don't have that insecurity about women that I'm dealing with having been with men. I'm in my 40s, so everybody that I'm sleeping with at this point been with some niggas. Like, like if I let a woman, everything that a woman, every nigga that a woman dealt with in the past affect me, I would never did like, you know, DMs would be dry to the motherfucker. You feel me? That ain't what it is though. It just don't bother me. Let me see. As long as it isn't my legs or crotch on the camera, honestly. Right. It don't, let me see. They all had peeps like we in our 40s. never be fucking. But you don't know who you fucking though. Like, you can meet a woman right now. She could be the sweetest thing. She could be, there was like, y'all got to take in mind, for the most of my teenage, like, or all of my teenage years, and most of my young adult, I lived in the San Fernando Valley, right? They used to be the porn capital of the world. And some of the girls that we went to school with got into the industry. They crossed over. And these are girls that we broke bread with. We didn't know. And I mean, the craziest thing is to realize that you've seen a movie of somebody that you know. You feel me? And they get into this industry and they start doing what they doing. Some of these girls, you would never know that they did some shit like that. You wouldn't know. You just dealing with this girl. You would never know that was her history unless that video popped up in your feed. You would never know. You would never fucking know. There would be no way you would know. So if you did find out, how would you feel? How would that make you feel as a man? How would that make you feel knowing that your woman was with Wesley Pipes? And that nigga was just talking in her ear saying, yeah, get on that dick. Get on that dick. How would you feel? If that's your girl, you've been with her 2 years, you love this world. You had no idea that that's how she got down. All of a sudden, Wesley Pipes video popped up. Would you feel differently about her? Would that make you feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel about that? It would be funny to me. That's the y'all say the Carfax, y'all dumb. Real life Boogie Nights. One of my Boogie Nights is one of my all-time favorite movies, probably one of my top 3. Just out of curiosity, do you collect Transformers? I would love to. I have a few of them. Just a few, I'll show you. I have a few. The first thing in this new toy collection, so I have these right here. This one I got off of TikTok. It was kind of like, I just liked it. It doesn't transform, but I just like it because it's like a Optimus. You can pose them and all that. Then I have this, what's his name? Starfire. He was the first, out of all of these toys that I have, he's the first figure that I bought. This one right here. I got him off of eBay because I just wanted a jet. And I have a few, I got this thing right here. I got Starscream. I got Megatron. I got a couple Megatrons. But the reason I don't collect Transformers is, for the most part, they're expensive. And I know you'll say, like, you got some expensive toys back there. I do, but like, I kind of like budget in a way to where it's like I plan the year on how I'm going to get certain things. So a lot of the toys that I get are really cheap. Like these Masters of the Universe toys, most of these I pay like $10 for, or you can get them at Ross and all this other stuff. But occasionally I will buy a nice size, fucking thing like that. But Transformers in general are usually $35 to $40 fucking dollars just for like the Armada class figures and stuff like that I would want to get. I'm just like, I can't do it. Let me see. Wesley Pipes. I like Inherent Vice from Paul Thomas Anderson. Inherent Vice. I never seen that. Boogie Nights was like literally one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, I love that movie for so many reasons. I had the Optimus Prime / Jetfire combination. Say, oh shit, are you serious? I just saw. It's funny that you bring that shit up. I literally didn't even know that was a figure until a few days ago, and I saw. I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't know. I thought it was AI at first. I literally thought that shit, the Optimus Prime Jetfire, I thought it was like AI, and I had never seen it until like the other day on Instagram. But yeah, man, like, it wouldn't bother me if a woman has a past. It wouldn't. what would bother me is it depends on that past, right? It depends on because I've been with some ladies that have done. That's why I talk about this sometimes because I've been with some ladies that have done some content. All right, like, I've been with some content creators, and they were sweet. They wasn't like I don't know. They were good. They were good. She was a sweetheart. It just like you just don't know. The thing with me, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this. Oh my god, I can't believe. So we did it, right? We had finished doing it and all this other stuff. She was telling me about some stuff and pillow talk shit, right? And I said, I think I said something like, it's gonna be all right, or you gonna be all right. I said something like real affirming, right? This is like we had just got done doing it, okay? It was just fucking. This girl, she started crying, and then she got up and she left the room, like, and I was like sitting there just like, what the fuck did I do, right? Because that never happened. Nobody just never bust out crying after some sex. And I was like, damn, was it that twack? Jesus Christ. And what I think it was is I think just because I was the way that I was, I think that she probably was catching feelings, or she thought I was catching feelings, and I was being too sweet, because the whole thing is you treat me better than any guy I've ever treated. That's the whole trope, because supposedly when a woman tells you that, they happen to have a history. This woman has a history. But the thing is, the reason that people say bring up the Carfax for the ladies in here is because even with this particular woman, I think that she did like me. I think she do like me. I just don't think she's willing to completely leave all of the dick alone. Does that make sense? Like, and some of these ladies don't want to completely leave all the dick alone, but hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you. Salute. I don't think I think that lifestyle is hard to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could be satiated sexually, but sometimes these ladies, it's work for them. Okay. So if they've been making so much money making content, right? And all of a sudden they feel guilty making that content. You are the reason that they're feeling guilty making that content. And I don't want to be the reason nobody's not making their money. Make your money. Do what you got to do. Don't let me get in the way you make your money. It don't have to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? But some ladies will want you just because I am the type of person that's not going to judge completely. I still don't want to be sleeping with somebody that's sleeping with other people for fucking content. That's just not something I want to do. Once again, that's what I say. My level, if you're not on my level of commitment, like my level of commitment is not fucking other niggas, right? And it's not because I have an insecurity about it. It's because I just don't. It's not cool. And right now, it ain't even about because you have to, if you're in the industry, you have to get tested regularly, which I don't have a problem with, right? And if you somebody's partner, it's just something I just don't. It's a lot to that I would just never want to, get myself involved in. That ain't got shit to do with my insecurity or nothing like that. It's just that's your job until you figure out some other shit. And then I'm not saying, oh, she could come back to me years later. And no, it ain't even that. I'm just saying, I suggest she figure out some other shit. But some of these ladies don't have no other shit to figure out. They don't have no other talents. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she don't have no other talents, but that particular talent has given her a lot of money. And for a lot of ladies, that is more important than being in love or being coupled up with somebody that probably will in the future feel insecure about you getting piped down. What if it is a day where I feel insecure about my body, or I feel like I'm not performing up to par? I'm going in, half cocked, and I'm in my head, I'm imagining you with some other nigga. That's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? This all the stuff I'm going through, like in my head. And the whole thing with me, it was off-putting that she started crying off of that little bit of an affirmation, because it was a simple fucking affirmation. It's like, it was literally a throwaway affirmation. You gonna be good. Yeah, you all right? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just because I'm not the type of nigga that's just gonna nut and jump out the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you want me to. You want me to leave? I'm out. But I'm gonna lay there. You want to sit there and have a conversation? I talk. We gonna have a conversation. Like, what we doing? And you know, some people start when you start certain interactions with people. It's supposed to start out as fun, and sometimes it can go deeper. And some people don't. They're not at that point in their life where all these double entendres where they want anything deep, right? They want something deep, but not in that way. I just try not to say I'm not trying because I don't know if this person sees this shit. So I don't want to go there. But I don't judge them for what they do for work. I try not to, but I do need them to know that it can be dangerous. And some women do have regrets, and this is why I have done videos about these actresses and some of the paths that has led them down. Like what's her name? What's her name? Willis. Her last name is Willis. I want to say Stephanie Will, not Stephanie. She's in a vegetative state right now, y'all. And what I mean a vegetative state is she's conscious, but she can't speak. The only thing she could do is move her eyes. She had got addicted to opiates last year, and she went into a facility. And while she was in this facility, I did a video about it last year. While she was in this facility, she ended up becoming malnourished and ended up devolving into a heart attack. And the people in the facility kept her there for over an hour without her having brain oxygen to her brain. So she had to go into a comatose state. When they brought her out of the comatose state, obviously she's just stuck in her body. And I know that has little all to do with just the porn, but the porn that industry led her down to doing the drugs. You feel me? And not speaking, and I don't want to speak too much on my family, but if y'all know my family, y'all know that I have famous family members, and one of those family members passed away last year, either last year or the year before last. And the reason that person passed away, I believe, is because, you know, just the lifestyle of industries, be it the Hollywood, be it the porn industry, whatever it may be, it's demonic, bro. And when you have a really good heart, it can extract more from you than just your talent. It can extract your life. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, rest in peace to my big cousin, Emily Willis. There you go, Daniel. Thank you, sir. Emily Willis. Yes, sir. That's her. Emily Willis. Like I pray that like she has comfort like in her life, and I pray that all of the girls and the guys, because I didn't even know until recently that there's a lot of males in the industry that are going through it too mentally. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You know, you always hear about how damaging the industry is for the females, but it's damaging for the males as well. And the way that they see themselves and the way that they are perceived by the public. And it's not something that is talked about enough. It isn't, because we kind of glorify, we push it to it. Like these apps push girls towards that. And obviously as guys, you're gonna want to be next to the hot girls that's trying to get fucked, right? But it is demonic. It's fucked up, right? And some people are not able to come out of that with themselves intact. And if homegirl sees this, I just want you to know, I still don't judge you. Like I just don't. I don't judge you like that. Yeah. August Ames too. Yeah. Didn't she pass away? August Ames passed away. There's also Cagney Lynn Carter. Yeah, she blew her brains out 2 years ago. I did a video on her last year. She sure did. Oh, 2 years ago. When she did it, I did a video on her. And this was just going on. These people say that when they're in public, sometimes they feel like people can see through their clothes. You know, it's a psychological thing because people are imagining them. Sometimes, you know, they have trouble, obviously, having relationships with people because of guilt, you know, or self-doubt, you know what I'm saying? Or even when they try to get to know somebody, sometimes they'll get to, because like with homegirl, I didn't know who the fuck she was, right? will think that you know who they are just because they're out there, but sometimes some you ain't gonna know who the fuck some a lot of these girls are, and you just dating them, and then you find out who they are, and it's like, oh shit, this is who you are, like da da da. That can fuck with them, bro. That fucks with them, and even the men, performance wise, when you do later want to get into a relationship with a woman, certain women are going to expect certain things of you, and sometimes the reason that you're able to perform like that on camera is because you've taken drugs, you've taken injections, and you've done things to yourself to modify yourself to be able to do it, and it's just not talked about enough because it's embarrassing. It looks glorified, and I'm glad that they're doing more documentaries talking about what goes on in order to be in the industry, and because there's some really, believe it or not, good people in the industry. It just is. I have to say that there's some good people, and that's just the job that they got into, and you know, some of them can't get their way out of it. What's up? I am hip hop hip one. What's up, man? I appreciate that. I feel like it's the same for PMO. Once you get a girlfriend, you gotta adapt, and that's the thing too about being in a relationship. And then I'll get off with this. As a man, when you get into a relationship, you have to be prepared to sacrifice a part of yourself, and a lot of that is your time. You're gonna have to sacrifice some time in order to be next to a woman. And sometimes us men, we may long to be in a relationship, but we may not be willing to sacrifice that time. We may not. You may think you want to sacrifice that time because you may like somebody, but sometimes when you do find yourself in a relationship, she's gonna if you're used to being by yourself, if you're used to moving to your own drum and doing shit the way that you do, when you start dealing with somebody, you got to consider their feelings, right? And you can't just move and shake like that. You got to consider them, right? And sometimes that can throw you off your swivel because you've gotten used to your swivel. So you got to be prepared to sacrifice your time and a bit of yourself in order to be in a relationship. So no, you're not wrong. You do have to adapt to be in a relationship. You can't just be who you are to be with a woman. You have to soften yourself up a bit in order to let her into your life. You have to, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, my girlfriend, she wants to like she's gonna be over here for the next few days, even though she got a way nicer place than I do, because and we could go over there, but it's just easier for me to go to work from here. But it's because she don't want to be home alone. She just don't want to be home alone. She just don't, and I get that, right? So she's like, I want to come to your house. I want to stay with you for a couple of days because her family's out of time, out of town. I believe she leaves either Tuesday. No, she leaves. I think the day before Christmas, sometime next week, in the beginning of the week, she's leaving. But over the next few days, her daughter's not there, her family's not there, so she want to kick it with me. So for me, I'm like, all right, you go kick it with me, and I don't mind it because she's a sweet girl, and you know what I'm saying. I don't mind that, like I say, but like that's sacrificing some time and some space, and I don't mind that though because I like her. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all bad. It's not like a bad thing, and I'm pretty sure she would do the same for me if I was like, oh, I don't feel like they tripping around here, whatever the case may be. I can go through over there too. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I just think that the messaging of us all being alone and us not trying to be with people is crazy, and it's destructive. Don't soften up too much. Cut. No, I ain't gonna do that. No, I can't. It ain't none of that. I've been in long-term relationships in my life, and I don't necessarily want to couple my life completely with somebody else like that. And for a few reasons, not just because of my own selfish reasons, but because of something that we were talking about earlier in this conversation. Any woman that I've been with, they've loved me like crazy, right? But eventually, when you do couple your life with a person completely, at least from my perspective, the women will get tired of me. They just will. I would rather us, we could be monogamous, right? We could, she's the only person I'm sleeping with. But as far as like us being completely all like we live together and we have to share bills, I don't want to do that because I don't ever want somebody to get tired of me in their space. I don't want to ever feel like I'm in the way. I don't want to feel like I'm too loud. I always want to feel like I'm able to just come at any point and just be 1,000 fucking% me and not compromise that part of myself. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that, I can't get too soft on that only because that part of me I'm very guarded on. I don't ever want to like completely couple my life, but I'm older. I've already had a family. I've already had relationships. I've already when I'm saying for young men that haven't experienced any of that, consider getting with somebody that's going to be on your program to where y'all can build together, but also consider, maybe y'all are building y'all when I say y'all building y'all life together, that means that she's building her life. That means she has her ambition, you have your ambition, y'all both building y'all ambition side by side, and then together y'all are a good couple. Like right now, the lady I'm talking to, she's in college again. Like she's already a nurse, okay? She already get paid pretty good money, but she's going back to school because she's going into administrative and all this other shit, and she's getting even more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me, I'm trying to do my thing, and I'm trying to build towards what I'm doing and everything, and like it's good that people can have their life goals and their things separate, but at the same time come together and have some recreational time and enjoy each other's company, and then go y'all separate ways and miss each other. It's good to miss each other. It's good to miss each other. And with that being said, y'all, glad y'all came in here, sacrifice, but set boundaries too. I let my girl know I need space to do what I need to do in solid. See, that's what I mean. There you go. And she respected it. And that means that she's on your program. That means you on her program. That the fact that she respects that, the fact that you that's the perfect boundary. Like, you say you need your personal time. It's nothing personal against her, but it's the same thing with me. I have to reset, so I'm not fucking loony around this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, some things that I express on here, I don't want to express to her. I don't want to talk about some of that shit that I talk about on here to her because I don't want to put that type of stress on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kicking it. I don't want to do that. That's more so for me to vent on here and share that shit. But as far as like in a relationship, I'd rather her, when she comes over here, we having a good time. That's it. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm probably going to be on here tomorrow too. What's tomorrow's Friday? I probably will come on here tomorrow and we'll talk about some more shit. But I'm about to get ready and get in the shower because I'm kind of musty before she comes through. And y'all have a good night. Have a good night, Sovereign. Thank you.